Welcome to Tuesday, the 5th day of September 2023, your day weather podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Did you know that Cowboy State Daily publishes a digital newspaper at 5:45 a.m. every day of the week, and it's free to get yours emailed to you every morning. Subscribe at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, a little taste of fall rolling into the region here over the last couple of days. As we expected, the general trend was west to east, with the western areas having the coolest, wettest, most unsettled weather. The cool air taking its time to get east of the Continental Divide, but that'll be noted today. And this is going to mean, as the front that came through the Pacific Northwest comes through the Rockies, there'll be some rain for the northern plains, northeastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, North Dakota, parts of far eastern Montana will be still a little wet today, but rest of the area, drier, cooler air settles in behind the system. So still for those northern plains and areas to the east, some rain, but drier, cool air settles in. This is going to mean some nice September weather for the next several days, really textbook September weather. Still have some warm, sunny days. The nights certainly are going to be cooler, and humidity's dropping as that monsoon season, which kind of had a surge late last week in the southwestern United States and parts of the Rockies, that's going to be tempered a bit. When these fronts start to become more frequent, that suppresses the monsoon. It also brings in drier air, and it just makes it harder to get into that afternoon and evening thunderstorm pattern. Still going to get them, but not as much. We do see another cold front early next week that'll bring another taste of fall to the high plains and parts of the Rockies. Lots of great photos came in from the long weekend. This is a great shot here in the Pinedale area from Dave Bell as the storm and the front came out of the Pacific Northwest, bringing moisture into western areas of Wyoming over the Wind River Mountains there. That kind of set the stage for areas west of the Divide this Labor Day weekend with that Pacific front moving in. And this brought in quite a bit of scattered shower and thunderstorm activity over the weekend, especially Sunday and into Monday. So lots of great shots of building clouds and thunderstorm activity throughout the high plains and the Rocky Mountain West over the 3-day weekend. And then there's another shot from Dave in Pinedale of a thunderstorm building across western Wyoming. Very good rainfall amounts reported in the upper Green River Basin, across the far western parts of Wyoming, eastern Idaho, southwestern Wyoming. A lot of areas, a half inch to over an inch of rainfall. Great to see that early fall precipitation. Then we had a plethora of rainbow pictures come in all across the region. Behind the systems, the lower sun angle that we're getting really making for a great display of rainbow activity all across the western United States over the weekend. Just some fabulous shots. There's one from Grand Teton National Park, and also some areas of rainbows across southeastern Wyoming and western Nebraska. Was this the aurora or was this a rainbow? Because we did have the aurora come out Friday and Saturday and Sunday in some areas all the way down into the mid-latitudes. And then great shot here near Kelly, Wyoming, of that heavy rain that was associated with some of those showers and thunderstorms that came into western Wyoming over the weekend. Here is the trough that came in over the weekend. It's now over the Dakotas, headed east. This weak trough will hang back a little bit, producing a few showers in the northwestern United States. But you can see a suppression now. There's going to be plenty of heat here along the eastern part of the United States, but certainly the central and the west cooling off and suppressing that high to the south. Satellite imagery this morning shows that trough over the Dakotas heading east, so there'll be plenty of shower and thunderstorm activity up there today, but drier air now coming in behind the system. Notice down here, water vapor showing very dry air over the desert. So the monsoon shut down completely with this pattern. And that's what you start to see this time of year with these fronts suppressing it. It will be a cool day. This is the temperature anomaly for late afternoon. The heat in the central and eastern areas of the United States, but from the northern plains to the west coast, well, a hint of fall weather. But it won't last too long. Temperatures tomorrow begin to moderate. Very September look to the weather across the central and the west. And this is by Thursday, temperatures begin to rebound. This all adds up to, for the most part, some really pleasant weather today, probably all the way through the weekend. Cool nights, warm days, and precipitation through Friday. Most of this right here is going to be happening today. This is what's left of that other trough coming in to produce a little bit of shower activity. But notice down here, there's nothing. There's that monsoonal moisture is being suppressed all the way down here now. So there's going to be a lot of fair, dry days for many of you. And if you do see some showers, they're really not going to add up to a lot. Classic September weather. By the weekend, by Saturday, high pressure is building a little bit. This should mean a really pleasant September weekend. But up here, we'll have a bit of a shift southeastward of this low here by early next week as this high pressure builds up into western Canada. And what that will do, this is by Monday morning, it will send a cold front through the northern plains and areas east of the divide. The end result there will be some cooler weather behind that front spilling east of the divide early next week. We don't see a frost or we don't see a freeze at the moment through this September 11th time frame, although I would certainly keep an eye on what happens around or after September 20th. We'll talk about that later this week. Yes, I am showing you a snow graphic. What I want to do is just kind of drop this little bug in your ear that the models continue to show some snowfall late September, early October, and I don't have any reason to disagree with that. So it's not happening now, but later in September, early October, does look like we're going to have to deal with some type of push of colder weather and a little bit of winter-like weather, especially up in the high country. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.